The archer of destiny, Arjun was born into the royal house of Hastinapur under extraordinary and divine circumstances. He was legally the third son of King Pandu, but due to a curse that prevented Pandu from fathering children, Arjun was conceived through a divine invocation. His mother, Queen Kunti, used a sacred mantra to summon Indra, the king of the gods and the deity of thunder and war. From his celestial father, Arjun inherited a magnificent physique, unmatched stoicism, and an innate genius for warfare. Alongside his four brothers, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Nakul, and Sahadev, collectively known as the Pandavas, Arjun grew up in the shadow of a bitter family feud. Their cousins, the Kauravas, envied the Pandavas' royal right to the throne, a rivalry that would shape the entirety of Arjun's life. As a prince, Arjun was educated by the royal preceptor, Dronacharya, a master of military arts. It was during this period that Arjun's legendary focus became apparent. While other princes were distracted by the world around them, Arjun possessed a singular, laser-like concentration. He famously became Dron's favorite pupil after a test where he was the only student who could see nothing but the eye of a wooden bird target. Through grueling discipline, Arjun mastered every weapon known to humanity, but it was with the bow that he achieved perfection. He trained himself to shoot flawlessly in the pitch dark and learned to use both hands with equal precision, earning him the title Savyasachi, the ambidextrous archer. Arjun's adulthood was marked by spectacular triumphs intertwined with profound hardships. He won the hand of Princess Draupadi in a famed tournament by piercing the eye of a rotating mechanical fish while looking only at its reflection in water. This merit cemented the Pandavas' political alliances. While Draupadi was the principal queen of the Pandavas, Arjun's travels led him to marry three other politically and spiritually significant women, Princess Ulupi, Chitrangada and Subhadra, each expanding the Pandavas' influence across ancient India. During a year of solo pilgrimage, Arjun met Ulupi, the Nag or serpent princess. Their union produced a powerful warrior son named Iravan, who later sacrificed himself in the Kurukshetra war. Arjun married Chitrangada, the warrior princess of the eastern kingdom of Manipur. Their son, Babruvahan, remained in Manipur and became its ruler. And finally, with Krishna's secret encouragement, Arjun abducted and married Subhadra to prevent an unwanted political alliance. This marriage tied the Pandavas directly to the powerful Yadava clan. Their son, Abhimanyu, became one of the most tragic heroes of the war. The political rivalry with the Kauravas reached a climax when Arjun's eldest brother, Yudhishthir, lost their kingdom, wealth, and freedom in a rigged game of dice. The Pandavas were exiled to the forests for 13 years. During the Pandavas' exile, Yudhishthir realized that defeating the Kaurav army, which boasted invincible warriors like Bhishma and Drona, would be impossible with ordinary weapons. Arjun was tasked with a solo mission to acquire celestial armaments, astras. Arjun used this period of exile strategically. Arjun traveled deep into the Himalayas to perform intense penance dedicated to Lord Shiva. To test the prince's warrior spirit, Shiva disguised himself as a wild hunter, called a Kirat. When a wild boar attacked Arjun, both Arjun and the disguised hunter shot it at the exact same moment. An argument ensued over who killed the beast, escalating into a fierce duel. Even against a god, Arjun fought with relentless courage. Impressed by his bravery and unyielding spirit, Shiv revealed his true, majestic form. He blessed Arjun and gifted him the Pashupatastra, one of the most destructive weapons in Hindu mythology, capable of destroying the entirety of creation. Following his encounter with Shiv, Arjun was invited to Indralok, the heavenly realm, by his divine father, Indra. He spent 5 years in heaven, during which he accomplished two major goals. The first being advancement in military training through the mastery in management of divine weapons from the gods. And second, in the arts of music, dance, and drama. He learned the Gandharv Veda from the celestial musician, Chitrasen himself. During his stay, the celestial nymph Urvashi became infatuated with him. When Arjun rejected her advances, stating he viewed her as a mother figure since she had once been married to an ancestor of his dynasty, an angered Urvashi cursed him to become a eunuch. Recognizing Arjun's virtue, Indra mitigated the curse. It would last for only 1 year, and Arjun could choose when to invoke it. The 13th year of the Pandavas' exile required them to live completely in disguise. If discovered, they would be forced into another 12 years of exile. That is when Arjun utilized Urvashi's curse strategically. He entered the kingdom of Virat under the pseudonym Brihannala, posing as a transgender dance and music teacher. He spent the year in the royal palace teaching the arts to Princess Uttara. At the very end of the year, the Kauravas launched a massive cattle-rustling raid against the Virat kingdom, sensing the Pandavas might be hiding there. With the king away, Prince Uttar Kumar panicked. Brihannala volunteered to be the prince's charioteer. Once on the battlefield, Arjun revealed his true identity, retrieved his hidden Gandiv bow from a tree, and single-handedly routed the entire Kaurav army, including Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, breaking their siege and proving his unmatched tactical dominance even before the Kurukshetra war began. The defining chapter of Arjun's life took place on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where a diplomatic failure made war inevitable. Arjun chose his closest friend and cousin, Lord Krishna, to act not as a warrior, but as his personal charioteer. On the morning of the battle, Arjun suffered a severe emotional and existential crisis. Faced with an opposing army comprised of his grandfather Bhishma, his teacher Drona, and his own cousins, he was paralyzed by grief and moral revulsion. He dropped his legendary bow, the Gandiv, and refused to fight, arguing that a kingdom won through the blood of his family was worse than death. This crisis prompted Krishna to deliver a profound philosophical discourse to Arjun on the battlefield. This dialogue, preserved as the Bhagavad Gita, reawakened Arjun to his dharma as a warrior protecting righteousness. Krishna revealed his cosmic, universal form to Arjun, showing him that life and death are cyclical, and that justice must be upheld without attachment to personal loss. Re-energized, Arjun anchored the Pandav army through 18 days of brutal warfare. He single-handedly defeated the core of the Kaurav military. For the first 9 days, the Pandav grandfather Bhishma decimated their armies. Because Bhishma possessed the boon of choosing the time of his own death, he was unstoppable. On the 10th day, Arjun placed Shikhandi, a warrior-born female but transitioned to male, in front of his chariot. Knowing Bhishma's vow never to raise a weapon against a woman or anyone born female, Arjun used Shikhandi as a shield. From behind Shikhandi, Arjun unleashed a storm of arrows that pierced every inch of Bhishma's body, creating a bed of arrows, upon which the patriarch fell. On the 13th day, while Arjun was diverted to a distant part of the battlefield, his teenage son Abhimanyu was trapped inside the complex Chakravyuh, which is a circular military formation, and brutally murdered by multiple Kaurav warriors, spearheaded by King Jayadratha. Grief-stricken, Arjun swore an impossible oath: he would kill Jayadratha before sunset the next day, or he would immolate himself in a funeral pyre. The entire Kaurav army formed an impenetrable wall to protect Jayadratha. As the sun began to set, Arjun had still not reached him. In a brilliant tactical move, Krishna used his divine powers to temporarily mask the sun, creating an artificial eclipse. Believing the day was over and Arjun would now burn himself, the Kauravas celebrated and Jayadratha stepped out of hiding. Krishna immediately signaled Arjun that the sun was still up. Arjun pulled the Gandiv string and decapitated Jayadratha before the sun truly set. Following the war, Arjun helped establish a golden age of righteousness under King Yudhishthir. He led the Ashwamedh, horse sacrifice, campaigns, expanding and securing the borders of the empire. The end of Arjun's life is a poignant reminder of human mortality and the cyclical nature of time. 36 years after the war, a curse destroyed Lord Krishna's Yadav clan. Krishna departed his mortal body, leaving his city of Dwarka to sink into the ocean. Arjun rushed to Dwarka to rescue the surviving women, children, and elderly. He escorted them through the deserts of Rajasthan. A band of ordinary forest bandits attacked the caravan. Arjun raised his legendary Gandiv bow to obliterate them, but found he could not remember the divine mantras to activate his celestial weapons. The bow felt too heavy, and his arms, once capable of shooting 1,000 arrows a minute, shook with age. He watched helplessly as the bandits plundered the caravan. Devastated, Arjun consulted the sage Vyas, who consoled him with timeless wisdom. He told Arjun that his purpose on earth is fulfilled. The weapons came to Arjun when the world needed them, and they have departed now that their time is done. And that strength, wealth, and glory are all temporary servants of time. Accepting that the era of heroes had passed, Arjun returned the Gandiv to the god Varun, renounced the world, and walked into the freezing peaks of the Himalayas alongside his brothers, eventually shedding his mortal coil to ascend to the heavens. Arjun and his brothers renounced the throne to embark on this final journey, leaving the kingdom to Arjun's grandson, Parikshit. Arjun is remembered not merely as an invincible warrior, but as the archetypal seeker of truth. His life story serves as a profound allegory for the human condition, illustrating the struggle between personal emotion and higher duty, and the ultimate triumph of a soul guided by divine wisdom. If you enjoyed this audio, please subscribe so you get notified when more audios like this are uploaded.